Have you ever thought to yourself how awesome would it be if you had digital avatar of yourself? Well, I have, because digital avatar is like a digital representation. That digital identity represents you. Now that sounds quite revolutionary and something to work towards. So today I propose to you my research proposal in real-time avatar digitization that is performed in 4 stages, that is introduction, literature review, methodology and ethics. Let's start with introduction. When we want to train a neural network to identify a digital avatar or even visual objects, we want to provide it with enough data sets to carry out the task. That's why neural networks require huge amount of data sets to function properly. These datasets are applied to neural network for avatar modeling. For avatar modeling, we need to perform 2 tasks. The first one is object detection and second one is realistic fake image construction. Now, CNN are quite popular for object detection tasks, where GAN can manipulate image such that it can trick even human eyes. As you can see, when selfies database are applied to input layer of the convolutional neural network over here, as you can see, the edges of the images are mapped out first and then they are put together to form eyes and lips, and finally these attributes like face, hair, lips are further consolidated together to detect head of the person within an image. This whole process of creating head of digital avatar from a selfie is shown over here. Now the head of the digital avatar is prepared. Afterwards, for creating full avatar though, we need to create realistic fake images that seem real even to human eyes. Here, as you can see, that image where person without glasses is turned into person with glasses. This can be done by training generator so well that it can trick discriminator into accepting constructed image into real image. That can even trick human eyes. Now, my motivation to do this project is because I have my personal interest in my startup, and if I implement this technology, then it will revolutionize the application that I'm intending it for. And also I've been thinking its implications in digital classroom, and that is, I think, that is something that I'll be the most interested later on. In terms of novelty, avatar to avatar digitization haven't been explored before. Like this hasn't been done before. So like the latest paper that I have explored was released just in November or in recent time. So I mean that's the latest, and that's just constricted to just the facial part. The whole end-to-end avatar digitization hasn't been done before. So, and in the findings I've observed that cafe networks can be deployed for object detections quite efficiently and most easily, because it has a huge community of people, and it has been deployed by more than 1,000 developers before, so it's easily deployable. And I'll begin with that and later apply that knowledge into finding more deep neural networks with StarGAN and DCGAN. And because DCGAN and StarGAN, they both rely on something that is fake but seems to be realistic, so that is something that can be difficult. Later on we'll see that the literature review, I have observed that artificial intelligence for the avatar digitization can revolutionize its process, because in terms of manual labor, it takes a lot of amount of time when you want to manually edit images into making objects like avatar. But when we use artificial intelligence for that specific purpose, it can do the task quite efficiently. So its application is quite viable and seems to be applicable by other people in facial attributes. So as you can see over here, when we talk about CNN have been widely utilized to win object recognition competitions for so many years, and tasks such as text recognition and artistic style classification and even visual processing tasks like identifying objects such as eyes or faces of people, or and these tasks can be done quite efficiently with the help of CNN. And but it stays limited to the point, because it can only identify object that is existent in the image. But when the image is edited in such a way that it doesn't exist, which means in layman's terms that it's fake, but it's perceived as real. So for that purpose we use generative adversarial network, and with the help of generator we create images that are so real that they fool discriminator into thinking that they are real. And the output of those model, they can even fool human eyes. They are that efficient in that regard. Later we see the different models of generative adversarial networks, which can edit multiple attributes at the same time in different categories like star GAN and attribute GAN. Later we see the methodology that I am going to implement for this project in my order. So as you can see, my flow chart over here it consists of me first collecting data sets, and as I mentioned over here, Slack here is gained by web video crawling and from YouTube, and it will take some amount of time to gather this data. I already have Pascal Vogue 2012 and ImageNet repository. So after collecting this data, I'm going to use Amazon services, and using those services I will create a model which is a cafe, and later on I will use that knowledge into creating a generative adversarial network, and maybe the combination of both, and I'll see by evaluation which model works the best in the process, and then deploy it in that order. The Cafe network, well, it's maintained by UC Berkeley University, and it's state-of-the-art framework for object detection purposes. It can process up to 60 million images per day by using NVIDIA K40 graphic card GPU, and that comes around 12 GB GPU, and it's in terms of computing power it's not that much. So it can process good amount of images efficiently with even good enough GPU, and over 1,000 developers have used it for so many purposes. So, and its framework is available in open source format, so it can be done efficiently, I believe. Then generative adversarial network, well, for that I have two repository. One is StarGAN and second one is DCGAN. There is one more repository which seems quite promising, which is FaceSwapGAN, that is explained in training phase and test phase. So when in training phase, when input image is applied to the encoder, its face is warped, and then a mask is created, and that warped phase is used for creating different expressions, and after training the model we can assess our model whether it is functioning properly, and then it shows a desired changed output which is fake but seems real. And my digital identity is related with my digital avatar, so those rights should be trusted within such monitored community that protects that digital rights, and they should be completely within the accordance with the GDPR, and that is my request.